come up with the idea?
College.
And all the neighbors would come.
Choreographer says, I need someone to walk through this. I have an idea.
Yep, guitar, Eddie Everett.
Stuffed animals.
He would laugh when I would do Shakespeare or something.
Kind of got to that place.
We finished the scene.
Hi, I'm Maureen McCormick, and I am known for being Marcia Brady all over the world. I am 53 years old. I started acting when I was 7 years old. I grew up in a family. I have 3 older brothers, and my mother is no longer alive, but she was a great, incredible mother. And I had a great father, great family life. There was a photographer that lived next door to my family, and he started taking pictures of me when I was like 18 months old, and I started dressing up in different costumes, and I really liked the camera. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. It was just so much fun for me. And I started putting on puppet shows for the neighborhood that I grew up in, and had this little puppet theater, and everybody would come to see my puppet shows, and I would sing and dance and just perform, and I grew up on all the musicals. My family was really into Oklahoma and The Sound of Music and Mary Poppins and The Music Man, and I just loved all those musicals. And the neighbors knew that I liked to do that, so a neighbor found an article in the newspaper to enter a contest called Baby Miss San Fernando Valley. And I entered the contest, and I won, which was just blew my mind. It was amazing. It was like, you know, all these cameras going off in the audience, and it was just like, wow. And the next day, my picture was in the newspaper, the Valley Green Sheet. I'm a Valley girl. And an agent called and asked if I wanted to be in the business, and I said yes. And it was amazing. It was, and let me tell you, I mean, I come from a family, we were so not show business people. I grew up in Woodland Hills in the Valley. My father was a school teacher. He taught the intellectually disabled. My mom was a housewife. I have 3 older brothers. And, you know, I mean, it was just like out of nowhere. It was shocking. It was great. It was wonderful. It was, you know, amazing. It was a dream. I was 7 years old. I loved it. I loved performing. I always have. I love cameras. Love to make people laugh and cry and feel. You know, I like to make people feel different things. They were totally into it. They, my mom was from Iowa. My father was from New Jersey. Real small town people, and this was a dream for them too. It was, who would have ever have thought, you know, that I'd be on TV and be in movies and be on commercials and be the voice in Dolls and be the voice in Super C&C Sing-a-Songs, which were for Mattel toys. You used to point the arrow at a certain box on the toy and then pull the string, and that was my voice. So it's been absolutely amazing. It's been wonderful. Unbelievable. Not real. Like my life was a movie, because it was. I mean, I was doing movies. I was working with Elia Kazan and Faye Dunaway and Kirk Douglas, and got to meet Blake Edwards, who was married to Julie Andrews. I almost played Heidi in the movie. That was pretty amazing. Got to go to the Mattel factory all the time and bring home a toy and you know, be the voice in Dolls and do Barbie commercials, twist and turn Barbie. It was great. It was absolutely great. to make us as real and as much ourselves as possible. So we were, you know, I mean, yeah, we had all these crazy situations that would happen, but we were all really, I think, playing ourselves in these situations.
Working in construction. Well, a lot of that story is based on my life.
I remember after I won this contest, I got an agent, and everything changed in a huge way. My life was constantly interviews and taking meetings, and the first big thing that I ever did was this play called Wind It Up and It Breaks. And I was 7 years old, and I got to move from the Valley down to La Jolla, which is this beautiful place in California. You know, I always wanted to do different characters, and I was really, really lucky. Because from the age of 7, I was on Bewitched, I was on I Dream of Jeannie, Honey West, different movies, different pilots. So I was playing all different types of characters. And then I got the Brady Bunch, and forever my life changed. I mean, you know, it just, I never, ever, ever would have thought that I would be known for one character and to be known, you know, for this character. It was all a whirlwind, really, because I was working a lot and kind of going from show to show. And I got this call to go out for Jan Brady. They were interviewing me for Jan. How my life would have changed if I had played the character Jan. Anyway, they picked a group of 3 blonde girls and 3 brunette boys, and 3 blonde boys and 3 brunette girls, because they didn't know which way they were going to go with the parents. And when they decided on Florence and Bob, I was lucky that I was a blonde, and fortunately, they made me the oldest daughter, Marcia, which really was so much like me, I think. I really think that they wrote for all of our characters to make us as real and as much ourselves as possible. So we were, you know, I mean, yeah, we had all these crazy situations that would happen, but we were all really, I think, playing ourselves in these situations. I was really, really excited because they were like this, it was like a family. And I remember the wedding scene, and I remember these pink satin dresses that we got to wear as girls, and it was just, it was, you know, a big production. And I remember being amazed that this oldest guy that I was working with was so incredibly cute, and that the father was so incredibly cute, and that I had these 2 sisters that, you know, became my friends. So I guess after that, after the 5 years, was when I was like, okay, time to get out there again and play other characters, you know? It was like I was really kind of boxed in as this one person, and I wanted to like go out and play hookers and drug addicts and, you know, anything. It was exciting. It was totally both. I was so excited to finally like go off into a new world, because I had been on stage 5 for 5 years of my life growing up, and was really, really anxious to see the world and to try things and to not be under the Brady name anymore. But on the same hand, I loved these people so much. They were just such a huge part of my life that it was really, really sad to think that the show was ending and that we would never play those characters again. Little did we know that we'd be playing them in musicals and this and that, and you know, it's like, oh my God, they've never stopped. It's like, you know, wow, there have been so many Brady comebacks and so many Brady movies and movies of the week. Oh, she was amazing. She was like a second mom to me. She was just always, she's got the biggest heart, and just, you know, she tries to make light of everything and keep things fun, but yet, you know, she's got a heart of gold, and she really cares about people. Filming the Brady brides, and I was supposed to be at a screen test, and I was at getting high at my apartment.
We were just getting it
Working in construction. My mom and dad
who died since, but like going up.
I've been through a lot in my life and come out at the other end, which I thank God for every day. I was addicted to cocaine for years and got out of that because of a renewed faith in God, and my family and friends stood by me during those really tough times. And I'm a very, very addictive personality, so I've gone from addiction to addiction to addiction. You know, I've had different dark moments in my life, not just one. You know, there have been many. But for one of them, it was when I was involved in drugs. I was 19, 18, and got introduced to cocaine through some friends. And I'm a very, very addictive personality. And when I try something once and I like it, forget it. You know, I just forget it. And that drug was, it just made me feel like I could do no wrong, like I was on top of the world, like everything was just great. And it blocked out and numbed out a lot of things in my life. And I liked that. I liked numbing things out. Anyway, I was involved in that for 5 or 6 years. And I messed up so many jobs. I just was on the bottom, you know. I would lock myself up for days at a time. I was just a mess. I was a total mess. And I remember I was filming the Brady brides, and I was supposed to be at a screen test, and I was at getting high at my apartment, and my agent had to bang down the doors and climb in and take off my clothes and throw me in the shower, and I was just like totally out of it, and had to go and see all these people after being up for 3 days in a row and admit to them that I had a problem and that the problem was a lot bigger than me and that I really, really needed help. And unfortunately, one of the first places that I went was to a doctor that worked with Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. His name was Dr. Eugene Landy. And he was an awful, awful man. His license was revoked, and he's dead now. But he made a sandbox for Brian and pretty much became Brian's everything. He brainwashed Brian into thinking that everyone else was out to get him except for him, and he was kind of his savior. And he was doing that same thing to me, which was just absolutely terrifying. And I could feel, he put me on drugs too, and he didn't tell me what he was putting me on, and I could feel like I was becoming a vegetable in this man's hands. And I got out of there, thank God, and went in to live with Lloyd Schwartz, who produced the Brady Bunch, and lived with him for a while, and lived with different friends, and tried getting straight, but then I'd get high again, and it was just so hard. And I finally started praying again. I was brought up Catholic, and had really gotten away from God in my life, and you know, show business was kind of my God and my, you know, everything, and cocaine. And I started praying again, and I just asked that if God was real, that he would show me and that he would help me. And he did. And it's really been cool to become more like that in my life. You know, not just becoming aware that life doesn't have to be really, really low or really, really high, that it can be like that, you know?
Working in construction. My mom and dad
I have absolutely no idea where I'm going from here, which is really exciting to me. I have no idea what my future holds. I mean, do any of us? My book has just come out in paperback, which is exciting, and I'm going on a book tour. But career-wise, I have absolutely no idea what is going to be my next job, and I find that really exciting. He did, and it totally changed my life. I remember I had one setback after that, and my husband, who wasn't my husband at the time, who, by the way, has never seen the Brady Bunch and had no idea who Marcia was, which was so incredible. I actually met him at church. And so I had this setback, and he said, you know what, if you're going to ever do this again, I'm sorry, but there's no way that we can be together. And it freaked me out, because I knew when I met my husband that he was the one for me forever. When we met, I looked in his eyes and I said, that's the man that I want to marry. And I had no idea who he was, nothing, but I could just see right into his soul and see that he was just this great, wonderful human being. I just could feel him. And he looked at me, didn't know who I was, and said, now that's the kind of girl I want to marry. And we became friends and were engaged within a month. And then we dated for like 3 years, going through a lot of ups and downs because we're total opposites. My husband and I he's a Republican, I'm a Democrat. He was brought up Protestant, I was brought up Catholic. We were raised differently. And so it was a lot of adjusting and learning how to work and become one through all these differences that we had. And it was great. He was a wonderful piece of the puzzle. He was my main piece, definitely, in my life. He is amazing. He's like this, and I'm like this. And it's really been cool to become more like that in my life. You know, not not just becoming aware that life doesn't have to be really, really low or really, really high, that it can be like that, you know? Well, first of all, it's been amazing because I believe in the truth, and I believe in not hiding. And I felt like I had been hiding for a really, really long time, hiding this, you know, other person and this darkness. And I had made a lot of mistakes. And it felt really, really great to talk about those mistakes and to realize that I'm not perfect, that it's okay that I was a drug addict. It's okay that I did these things, and I've learned from them, and I've become who I am today. Like, I wouldn't change any of it. I know I really wouldn't. I wouldn't change a day in my life because I really believe that we're here for a purpose, and that right now I'm supposed to be talking to you, and this interview is supposed to be happening. I mean, I really believe that in that kind of stuff. Don't give up. Don't give up, and just keep on trying, and pray, and it'll happen. You know, if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. You can really, you know, accomplish what you want to if you set your mind to it and do it. So, when I was a little girl, what I was dreaming about was being a mom. That was, to me, like the greatest thing in the whole world. I wanted to be a mom more than anything. And I got that wish, and it's truly been my greatest joy of anything ever in my life. It's been the greatest thing.